I wanted to talk about this. I'm gonna call it under hypnosis. You heard me basically say like Stu and Blondie at one point were just continuously putting me under hypnosis, back and forth, messing with my mind. I think my ex cuddle buddy also tried the same thing before she hit me with a van for some reason. I don't know what the obsession is when I tell people I don't do drugs to immediately make me do drugs, but uh, I remember Anal Eating Mummy God telling me that's self-righteous. Like, you don't do drugs. You guys can do drugs. I'm not going to judge you. It is a personal preference of mine not to do drugs. And look what happened when I was president. When you made me do drugs when I didn't want to. What happened? Everything went bad. I didn't do drugs before that and I was fine. Okay? It's only you people that believe being high out of your mind is somehow superior. You imbeciles. I do not judge people for getting high. I do not care. Okay? There's nothing I can do about it. But, there was this stupid moment when Blondie was trying to hypnotize me. I don't even remember. I remember telling him I didn't want to be hypnotized, and he was like weirded out that I was aware. But I was like, when they hit you with this shit, they spray you in the face or they throw that shit in your face, you're suddenly in the back of your mind floating, and the subconscious is in the forefront of the mind, okay? And they're talking to the subconscious. Now, Stu and Blondie and my ex-cuddle buddy, for that matter, and the wives out in the desert, all did this thing where they just infinitely use this thing, and their stupid hypnosis is the only way they know how to communicate is through control. They don't love or care for you in any way. It's just control. I want to control you. I see that thing, I want to control it. Charles Manson, when I spoke to him, the first thing he said while I was high on LSD was, don't let them give you that shit. It's how they control you. And that is what happened to me out there in the desert, regardless of what, look out, it's explanation. Oh no, your hurt feelings. So this stupidity was mirrored by exactly one person who, I don't know how, the truth is I didn't know the belly girl. She believed she knew me. I took down the belly girl video. I have intent about remaking it or re-uploading the old one. I don't really care which one I do. I just got to figure out how to do it. Assuming it's still on my hard drive and the dickheads in the van haven't deleted it. They can do that, and it's apparently legal. It doesn't matter, because in order to invoke the legal system, you have to actually be able to get to the legal system. But the belly girl, I remember one of the times she dosed me, because there was the time at Papa John's where she took me into the bathroom and had sex with me. There was the time at the gas station, and I don't know if I had to explain it, sleepwalking. Driving my car to a specific location. I don't know how she did that. I don't know, once again, I don't know how far hypnosis goes. I'm not a hypnotist. But she took me to a place, and it was like the room's walls were tan or something. I don't know exactly what this area was. Then again, none of the colors or anything are right when you're on LSD, so whatever. We were somewhere, and she just started unloading information. She was talking about playing outside the church, like, I think she hit a church leader with a ball or offended him, and these guys, narcissists are hypersensitive, okay, they're women. And the guy overreacted and then told her she's going to be a human sacrifice and they're going to kill her. And that was her life all through middle school and high school. And I think I met her in middle school and again in high school and then again at Papa John's. Our lives just kept crossing. But, like, I she was also, I guess, semi-telepathic. I don't... Or it was all hypnosis. I don't bother with it, because honestly, the spiritual shit just makes me sound crazier, and there's a deliberate reason. In my videos, I actually leave out a lot of the extra spiritual shit. Don't worry, I plan on doing a complete, absolutely insane video about the LSD tripping, alleged telekinesis and telepathic abilities, and going to meet the devil through mutilating a woman's body. Yeah, spoilers. It's gross and weird. But she, unlike Stu, or my ex-cuddle buddy, or Jasmine, or Blondie, or any... Dude, even the blue-eyed guy, the overuse of this shit. She, while talking to me, I began, like, I guess, like, groping, like, reaching, and she out of nowhere was like, it's the lead. It's messing with your mind. And she's like, we have to stop. You're becoming an addict. You're becoming like them. That's what she said. And she was like, this has to stop. Something, something. I can't see you again. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Something along those lines. She was giving me a complete history of her, like, people. Like, a whole bunch of shit that she was like, you're not supposed to know this. Gannon later told me they tell everybody this. You're not supposed to know this, and you're not supposed to see this special plane. No man has been here before, or some shit, and whatever. I don't. Don't ask me, dude. This is all them. But the LSD, the hypnosis, the telekinesis, and them her fucking with my mind, she realized that it was negatively impacting my brain. Yeah. I don't know how she noticed that, but nobody else noticed that. Or maybe the truth is, I'm starting to think the Memphis men are imbeciles, because I know like 6 or 7 of them, and they all say, like, because they confessed to it when I was president, and whenever I bring it up, they kind of do one of these, and then they go like that. As if, like, they didn't expect me to remember or something. I see you. But I'm starting to think they're idiots. I think it's only the women that actually know how to do the things. I think the guys are just stupid. I think they're like the Volvolini from Mad Max, where they just throw the boys out. I think that's what happened to my guy friends that are part of this secret cult, is they're just thrown out on their asses by the women because the women aren't that great or whatever. They only value themselves, or they're matriarchal. It would make sense if they're matriarchal that a Christian cult would fucking enslave them because they hate women, so that just makes sense that these women would be enslaved. I don't know how, like, the belly girl and her self-interest, only caring about getting pregnant so they wouldn't kill her. And that was her entire thing, is she was trying to get pregnant so they wouldn't kill her. Even in her self-interest, she decided to stop destroying my brain because I don't know. She liked something, she liked the projection she created of me in her mind. When somebody's under hypnosis and LSD, they are not them, okay? And the way these women know how to communicate is that's how they communicate with you, is they hypnotize you and draw you into this imaginary world and have sex with you. And the thing is when the LSD or the psychedelic, it becomes less powerful each time you use it. And it becomes less effective. And I wonder if that's why I can kind of remember this, is because the shit was wearing off. It wasn't working, and maybe that's what she was talking about. The LSD and the tetraled were wearing off on me. They weren't working as well as they were supposed to. But she also was the first person to mention to me that I had manganese poisoning from when I was a kid, which creates a comprehension difficulty, which is what I have. And I have a couple other problems from I drank sprinkler water in Florida as a kid and got manganese poisoning. So that was the first time I had heavy metal poisoning. So my entire life I've actually been stupid from heavy metals. Isn't that some shit? And she was explaining to me that you can use the manganese to communicate telepathically, but it's actually the tetraled that works better. And she was explaining to me that we can communicate because I had manganese in my brain. But she was also the one that was like, you know what, we can't keep having sex. Like, this can't keep happening, whatever shit. Like, I made her orgasm one time and she got really mad at me because they believe in edging and gooning. They don't believe in orgasming. I mean, the hypnotized Bobby did it. I don't really know if that counts as sex if you're just under drug hypnosis, but I don't know what to tell you. I know the blue-eyed guy, after these events, put in extra work on deleting my mind because I kept remembering shit, little pieces of her and wondering who she was, and then he would just turn up and delete it. Like, so, there's that. So thank you for that, blue-eyed guy, whatever you're... He just does what he's told. I remember him going on a rant, just a little bit of time. The blue-eyed guy that also does the hypnosis shit went on a thing about integrity, and then explained to me that he swore to the cult that that he would do whatever they wanted and defend the women brain eating, the child killings, the serial killings, and the entire human trafficking ring under oath, and he doesn't break that because he has what's called integrity, and he's like, something you don't understand, Bobby. And I just started laughing at him in my own mind. I didn't laugh at his face. I should have, because integrity means adhering to your own values. If your values are it's okay to eat women's brains and murder kids and women, you don't have values. So therefore you can't have integrity. Those two things go together integral. They are the same flips of a coin. You don't get to murder women and eat their brains, or defend people who murder women and eat their brains, and that being against your values, and then scream that you're somehow have integrity. What you have is slave mentality. What you have is, I do what they tell me and I take it in the ass mentally, emotionally, and physically for the church, and whatever he gets out of it, probably a paycheck. It's probably a paycheck, being under the threat of death and all that shit, and probably the delusion that he's doing something good in his brain, because we are not that, but then he couldn't tell me what they were. Okay, oh, we're way more complex. Oh, we're blah, blah, blah. Oh, we're... He couldn't tell you. I guarantee you, he couldn't tell you. Unless the truth about him is white supremacy, and then he's like, oh, we're the bastions of white supremacy. That would make perfect sense for everything he does. It is disgusting that a bunch of emotionally stunted imbeciles and narcissists are the ones that captured a bunch of women that taught them how to fucking hypnotize people and do that shit. Like, yeah, whatever. But I do remember the conversation with the anal eating mummy god where he was like, when the church was busted, he basically had a conversation with me where he alluded to, do I really think the world needs to know that you can just hypnotize anybody and make them do whatever you want? And he was like, do you really, like, do you know how dangerous that would be for that secret to get out to everybody in existence? That there is a way to completely control people against their will. And he was like, because if you didn't sign that perjury, then that's exactly what was going to happen. And I was like, well, that would definitely cause us to have a different court system. And he's like, no. And we had a back and forth. And then I openly admitted it would be horrible. Because there would be a bunch of stupid people that have only self-interest. And just like how the church leaders abuse it, the belly girl didn't abuse it. She stopped when she needed to. Everybody else, however, their plan to keep me high on drugs 24/7. Their plan to hypnotize me 24/7. Their plans to control me through all this bullshit 24/7, which is an abuse of this ability. It is a straight up abuse. I don't think anybody should ever be using drugs and hypnosis on that level, but these people do it regularly. Like I said, they got a bunch of people that just lay out in the desert that are just high 24/7, hypnotized and shit. Like, I don't know. One of the things I wanted to end on is the fact of the malignant narcissist cult is they disguise keeping you alive as a form of love. you're alive, and I only care about you. You're an asset to them, and they're not stupid enough to just let you go get killed. But you are battle fodder. When it comes time to use you in the battle and murder and get you killed, that's what's going to happen. That's how these people work. Okay. It's not love. It's self-interest on the malignant narcissist part to keep you alive for this moment until you're not needed anymore. And then you're an exposable asset. So everybody in the church is a disposable asset. Yeah.